here today to talk to you about how to start writing a song or how to begin a song. Na alam natin, itong part na to for most songwriters, this can be the hardest part kasi ang dami nating options and we don't know where in the world do we start? How do we start writing a song? So, how do we start? Well, as a career songwriter, meaning somebody who writes songs for different people, for clients, for different artists, I tend to ask myself 3 questions before I actually start writing a song. First is, what is the purpose of the song? Para saan ba yan? Is it something that I am writing to express lang for myself? Or is it for a client? Is there a particular message na gusto nilang lumabas sa song? Is it for a contest? If it's a contest, meron bang theme yung contest? If it's something that a group of people will sing, is it something for a church or for an organization or for a company? If it's a company anthem and medyo group singing ang mangyayari, syempre isipin ko kung ano yung vocal range ng mga madlang tao. Who is going to listen to the song? Sino yung market? Bagets ba? Mga matatanda ba? Am I writing for a singer? Am I writing to highlight the vocal range of a belter, for example? Or community singing ba yung song? So, pag ganun, kailangan yung vocal range hindi masyadong malaki. It should be easy to recall, easy to sing. So, I start with that. What is the purpose of the song? Second, I ask myself, what are the parameters of the song? Meron bang mga limitations? Are there budget constraints? In which case, dapat ba piano and vocal lang siya or piano and guitar? So, kung ganon, dapat yung pagkakasulat ng song bagay doon. Or kung may budget, meron bang orchestral arrangement ba? So, that will decide what kind of song I'm gonna write. Or is there a deadline for the song? How much time do I have? And also, is there a time limit to the song? Is it a jingle? Is it a 60-seconder? Is it a full song? So, lahat yan, iisipin ko rin muna. The third question I would ask myself is, what kind of song or what structure would I use to write the song given the purpose and the parameters? Would it be a verse-chorus song or a verse-bridge or AABA song? What is the difference between the two? A verse-chorus song, as you all know, has a chorus which is the part where you usually find the hook. No, yan yung pinaka-memorable part. Madalas, that's where the title is. That's the part that most people end up singing all the time kasi yun ang pinaka-malakas ang recall. So you have verses, sometimes you have a verse, maybe a pre-chorus, and then a chorus, and then a verse, and maybe a pre-chorus. And sometimes you even have a bridge, no? Para lumipad yung song, naglalagay tayo ng bridge. So the main characteristic of a verse-chorus song is something that is easy to recall. Now, a verse-bridge song, or what they call an AABA, that one, iba naman siya. Meron siyang verse, another verse, and then a bridge, which is not the same as a chorus. It's just a departure from the verse, and then it ends with another verse. And then, usually in this structure, yung title, makikita mo siya sa dulo ng bawat verse, not in the bridge. So, this kind of structure is usually good for storytelling. So, you'll see this in a lot of musicals. So, yan, madalas sa mga musicals ang AABA or ang tinatawag na verse-bridge song. But there are also many pop songs that use this kind of structure. So, usually I like mapping all of this out, from the purpose to the parameters to figuring out what structure I will use, and then I start writing a song. So, do you start with the music or the lyrics? We all know you can start with either one, but how do you make the decision on which to start with? If you are, let's say, writing a song for a contest that has a theme, or for a client that needs to express, some message, tapos sobrang importante sa kanila yung words, yung slogan, whatever, then it might be a good idea to start with the lyrics first kasi you need to prioritize that, and then it's easier to set that to music after. So if you're going to do the lyrics first, which part do you do first? One option is for you to start with the title. I actually like doing that. I am a title first songwriter because, well, I think the title is a very important part of the song. It's like the brand of the song. And for me, starting with the title helps me to kind of focus and pull everything together so that everything is cohesive. So yeah, I like starting with the title. In fact, like Tell the World of His Love was written with the title first because there was a theme, no? Very specific yung hinahanap ng contest. As the Father sent me, so am I sending you. And I wanted to have a title that would summarize the entire theme. So that's one way you can start a lyric. You can start with the title first and build everything shining. So bright, light, sun, stars, pwede rin yung contrast, darkness, shadows. So you can come up with a word list. A word list is something that is like a very helpful tool, for songwriters when you are creating a lyric and you have a concept. Gawa ka ng word list. List down all these words associated with whatever you're trying to write about. So that's another tip. And you can use a word list as a tool for the lyric writing. Another thing you can start with is the first line. And you can just start with the first line and build everything after in the chronological manner. I've also tried doing that for another theme song contest, which was the Red Cross songwriting contest, and the theme at the time was Red Cross as the power of humanity. Yan, ganyan. So sabi ko, ano ba yung power of humanity? What's it about? So I was thinking, what's it about? It's all about giving. It's all about trust. It's all about people. It's all about us. It's all about... So ganon ko na sinulat. I actually put in, it's all about this and that. And then the chorus came naturally after I wrote the verses. And so that is another option for you. You can start from the very first line and just see where it goes. Parang you just kind of wing it and bahala na. So just make sure that if you start with the first line, make sure it is very strong. The first line of a song is important because you need to grab the attention of your listeners and you need to hold that attention. So first line is another option for you to begin with. Another option is to start with the last line of the song. And this is something I also like doing because when you start with the last line, it's like plotting out your trip. Pag nagpaplano ka ng trip, nauna yung destination, di ba? You know where you're going, and then you just plan how you're going to get there. And when you start with the end of the song, then you can almost be sure that you're going to land on solid ground. So you have like a payoff that will be pleasing to the listeners. What is a payoff? A payoff is like a reward, no? Pag merong narinig ang audience na part ng song na pag narinig nila, oh, ganon, or, uy, galing nun. Something that feels like, oh, wow, great, I see what you did there. That's a payoff. A payoff is something that kind of separates the great songs from just the okay songs. So one of the ways that you can ensure a payoff in your song is, if you start with the last line, it's like you land on solid ground. So, for example, when I wrote the song, You've Made Me Stronger, I started with the last line. I wanted to end with, You've made me stronger by saying goodbye. Parang, wow, yun. Parang feeling ko powerful statement. And so I wanted that to be the last line. And so I worked it backwards. So like, what rhymes with goodbye? Try, die, my, lie. So I came up with, you've taught me everything from falling in love to letting go of a lie. Yes, you've made me stronger, baby, by saying goodbye. So when you plan it out that way, like, what rhymes with this? Tapos paatras mo gagawin, parang nagiging, you kind of prepare the ears and be inspired by the beat, and then you can see where that goes. I remember writing a song where I wanted something kind of driving, like, something like this. Gusto ko ng parang merong ganong steady rhythm, and I came up with like a melody that was repetitive. So parang ganun, parang repetitive na melody, and then after that, because of that repetitive melody, I came up with the words like, I'm in danger, beautiful stranger, when it be over, and it's so senseless. So parang ganon. You can start with some gibberish. Let's say if you have a rhythmic pattern, you can start with just coming up with no sense words, and then you can replace them later on with actual words. So that's another way that you can start with the music. Groove muna, you come up with a melody, and then, just sing some words that maybe don't make sense, and then replace them later with words that do make sense. And finally, another way you can start music is just thinking of the overall sound or the instrumentation of the song that you want. When I joined Philpop in 2012, I remember thinking I wanted a big band sound. Sobrang fan ako ng AMP big band. Sabi ko, gusto ko ng ganon. Gusto ko ng big band, yung jazzy, swing. I was inspired by yung, alam niyo yung sing, 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 sing. Some jazzy ganon. So I had that in mind. First, it was the overall sound. I thought maybe by Hannah could sing it kasi parang Andrew Sisters, ganon. So that was like the concept, the vision I had of the overall sound. Tapos, yun na yung nag-dictate kung ano yung naging takbo ng music at ano yung naging takbo ng lyrics kasi big time. Sabi ko parang magandang title, yung big time kasi it's a big band, and then everything else followed. I tried to listen to some jazz pieces and tried to study the structure of songs like that. So ang inuna ko nung time na yun ay yung instrumentation and overall sound. And you can do the same with your song. And so those are your options for beginning your song with music or with lyrics. And I hope this video has been helpful to you. So go ahead and write your songs.